I'm about to
Yeah,
get cooked. I
he's
concede
good.
before I debate.
He's
Well,
good.
then let's debate on another topic. I'll debate for white American nationalist. I believe
But
that
that's
Donald
not your
Trump
actual
is the
voice,
president that we've
Resper.
ever had. MAGA stands for Make America Great Again, and I want America to be made great again. Any contentions?
Yo.
You think this country's a joke to you, huh?
No, you're actually
Nah,
sus,
what?
bro. You nah.
What?
I'm starting to think. I'm starting to think that Resper is the imposter, bro. He's kind of sus.
Wait, but
Imposter.
Resper, do you want to do the LARP battle again?
Man, pro-life is so it's so futile. Debating it feels so helpless. I don't like debating pro-life.
Debating pro-choice feels futile.
Really? I thought
Yeah.
pro-choice was
Wait.
like so much
How
easier.
about you guys do this instead? How about you both like LARP as circumstance?
Mm.
But then we just agree. But
Yeah,
then we
exactly.
disagree.
Wait, yeah.
We just be both
Okay. Then one debates what they want to debate, and the other one goes circumstance. So you can.
No, the
So Resper,
easiest
you can
thing
go
to debate is
pro-choice.
might equals right. So what happens? You both put your address down and you both fight to the death for it, and whoever survives is right.
How old are you again? I'm not fighting a 15-year-old, dude.
Okay. How about we do this then?
Ooh, that's
one LARP says
ageist. That's ageist.
I'm hella ageist, dude.
Hold on. How about somebody? How about somebody? How about somebody LARPs as pro-abolitionist, and the other one is circumstance.
You wanna you wanna LARP as an
Pro-abortion versus
abolitionist?
pro-abolition.
Yeah, because that smells like feet.
That's
Okay.
the most extreme example of both pro-life and pro-choice.
Huh.
This guy just said anti-abortion all the way. Yeah, you're banned, kid. Get out of here. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, hey, Speedster, how about
Yo, what's up?
I LARP antinatalism?
Hey, wait, can you restate antinatalism again? I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, it is morally it's unjust to have a child. It's an immoral act to bring somebody into the world.
Ooh, that's gonna be a serious commitment. So, oh boy. Wait, so can you state your justification for why we should hold to antinatalism?
Yeah, definitely. So we can use David Benatar's asymmetry argument to show that when it comes to good and bad, being deprived of bad, especially when you're not there, isn't a bad thing, but being saved from good is a good thing. So that asymmetry would kind of obligate you to keep a child from coming into the world. Not only that, but this is an unconsensual act. You are non-consensually bringing somebody into the world who would then have to go through the suffering. And even if they do end up enjoying the world, that's just a biological illusion that we hold. Because if we didn't enjoy the world, our species would have died out as a whole.
Well, here's the problem. Moral value shouldn't be based on whether that life wants to live or not. Moral value is just based on outside properties, like essential properties based on human essence.
Oh, I'm not saying the life isn't morally valuable. I'm saying that you did a moral act in bringing the thing to life.
And why so though? Because they didn't consent to that.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't consent to it, and you're bringing them into a world which has some asymmetry that's skewed towards suffering.
So okay, so the problem is by me terminating the fetus, I'm basically leading it to to bear the most suffering you could possibly experience, which is the taking away of a life. If I take away a life, that's basically me putting the most suffering on that human life. You see what I'm saying?
No, I wouldn't say taking away life is putting the most suffering on that life. For example, if I were to torture you, I'm pretty sure you'd instantly revoke that statement and say, "Please kill me."
Well, because the problem is by you torturing me, you're going to lead me to die, depending on what kind of torture method it is. So,
yeah, most torture methods are actually made with the goal in mind to keep the victim alive.
yeah, I understand that, but depending on what torture method it is, you could say that death is still going to happen under this case. I understand where you're coming from when you say that if I was tortured, I'd probably say I'd want to die, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that dying is going to be the best outcome.
Wait, so yeah, is how bad is it to die?
Well,
You said it's
considering
the worst
it's the
suffering you
highest,
can have, right?
it's the highest amount of harm a human person can
Okay.
experience.
You know
So,
what? Let's say sure. Let's say it is the highest amount of harm somebody can experience. Antinatalism, it's not necessarily saying it's not like pro-abortion, like you should abort. It's saying you shouldn't have a child in the first place, right? So if you're saying
Right.
that so death is guaranteed, and if it's the worst possible form of suffering you can go through, that means we know that everybody who comes to life will have to go through the most possible suffering, which is death. So in having a life, in having a child, you are 100% guaranteeing that this life, which didn't consent to it, will have to go through the most sufferable experience ever.
so
So
that's
you'd be
gonna
wrong for having that child.
Well, there's going to be many inconsistencies with this argument because, for example, if I kill a 20-year-old right now because they're going to die later, is that going to be a justifiable act?
No, I'm not saying, again, I'm not saying that we should abort people. I'm saying like antinatalism and like radical antinatalism, just going around killing people, are two separate acts, right? I'm saying we shouldn't bring lives into existence, as in you shouldn't even have like sexual intercourse to even like try to bring a life.
So okay, so the problem with that is one, if that's commonly held, we're not going to populate, so we're going to
Yeah,
decrease
definitely.
in.
Human extinctionism is actually the goal of antinatalism.
Yeah, that's the problem though, because then we
How
wouldn't
so?
exist there, and that's going to
Yeah,
be
that's
an issue.
that wouldn't be an issue.
Like
That'd be great. That'd be like that's our whole goal. Why is that an issue?
no, that would be an issue because the problem is that even though suffering is guaranteed, there's still good in the world that we can experience. Just because there's some
Yeah.
suffering in the world doesn't mean you don't deserve to live at all. Thinking in this ideology, this is what audio holds to, by the way. I remember audio holds to this idea where reproducing is just going to be immoral, but I disagree with that because that lacks justification for why it should be immoral. and
Well,
and even
I gave plenty justification. I feel like you're just like skipping over it. So I talked about like the asymmetry argument, in which and by the way, again, you talk about like moral value and like whether or not we deserve life. I'm not saying that we don't deserve life, right? I
Mhm.
don't think you necessarily need to do anything to quote unquote deserve life. I'm not saying that humans aren't morally valuable. I'm just saying that bringing a human into life would be an immoral act, right? And again, we can
Mhm.
talk about like the consent angle. We can talk about the asymmetry angle. So when you say that even though there's bad, there will be good, right? I kind of want to get into this, right? We'll go over two scenarios, right? Scenario A, where X exists. The
Mhm.
presence of pain for X is bad, and the presence of pleasure for X is good. Could we agree on that?
Yeah, sure, we can agree on something similar to that. I would say that,
Definitely.
um, like we can agree to something similar to that. But where are you getting with this?
So yeah, I'll even write this in the chat just so it's like easier to hold. So if X
Hmm.
exists, pain would be bad for X, and pleasure would be good for X, right? Now,
Hmm.
if X doesn't exist, the absence of
I
pain.
do have a contention. Like the problem is, you state that it would be great if we were extinct, right? But the problem is, we wouldn't have good or bad, so great wouldn't exist in this
Yeah,
ideology.
definitely. Yeah. So like, okay, that's why, I'm gonna get into the second one, which is kind of touching up on what you just said. So if X doesn't exist, the absence of pain would be good, but the absence of pleasure wouldn't be either good nor bad. Could you agree on that?
Right. I understand where you're coming from, but how are we going to say that something is great if it doesn't exist in this concept of
Um,
reality?
the absence of it is what's good. That's the great thing is the absence.
Right, but the problem is by living a life, I'm going to be subject to harm, obviously, but I'm also going to be subject for good. Good
Yeah,
is
but
as guaranteed. Good is guaranteed, just like harm is. The
yeah, but that
problem
same
is,
statement that you made is the exact statement I'm tackling right now. So it's like I'm gonna repeat it, right? So if X doesn't exist, the absence of
Mhm.
pain would be good for X, but the absence of pleasure wouldn't be neither good or bad. Like it'd be just neutral.
Yo, thank you. Yeah, but the problem is, if I don't exist, I'm not even going to have any concept. I'm not even going to know that I exist because I don't exist.
Yeah, and I'm not saying
I'm
you would
going
need
to.
to. Why would that matter? Well, okay, look, I'm
So
gonna ask this
if I,
question. I'll put it this way: do you agree or do you
uh-huh.
disagree with that premise?
What premise?
If X doesn't exist, the absence of pain would be good for X, and the absence of pleasure wouldn't be good or bad.
Not necessarily. I would agree that that not having harm is going to lead to some kind of good. But the problem is,
Okay,
in this ideology you hold to, we're not even going to be able to perceive this absence of bad. So
we
why
wouldn't need
is
to
this
perceive
going
it.
to but the problem is that's the whole point of what good is. We have to perceive it in order to justify it as being good. If we
Not
don't
necessarily.
exist, if we if we don't exist, then good is not going to benefit us in any way. Not having harm is going to benefit us in any way. So how are we going to justify extinction as being this thing where it's going to be a
Okay.
neutral effect?
So you say, yeah, sure, the absence of harm is good, but how are we going to say it's good? Well, because it's good, and you conceded to the fact it's good. We don't need to be there to perceive the good. It's the absence of that, like perceiving, which is good, right? The reason we're saying it's good is because we're not there to experience it. That's the whole entire point, right? So when you say, oh, but we're not there to experience it, hell yeah, right? That's the goal.
But the problem is, if you can't perceive good, then it's just not good at all. Then I would understand. Like I concede to the
If you can't
point
perceive
where
good, it's not good
I
at all.
like
Wait, could I flip that? If you can't perceive bad, it's not bad at all.
Well, let me finish this one point I said. I do concede on the fact that an absence of bad is going to be good, but only if we can be able to perceive it and actually live upon it. If we don't exist, we're not going to be able to experience this good.
Wait,
So good
yeah,
is
but
just
is that
not
true
going.
both ways? Is that like a symmetry? Like with the absence, if you can't experience bad, then it wouldn't be bad, right?
No, what I'm saying is that since we don't exist at all, like I would
No, I'm
understand
not
you're
talking
trying to
about.
get.
Okay, look, yeah, I'm not talking about existence. I'm talking about. Okay, sure, you exist, right? Now, you
Mhm.
said if you can't experience a good, then it's not good, right?
I'm
I'm
saying that
flipping
if you
that.
don't exist, like I'm saying if that you don't exist to experience some kind of good, then it's not going to be good because
Yes,
you don't
definitely.
exist to.
So again, if you don't experience a good, it's not a good. That's what I'm trying to parse. If you don't experience a good, it's not a good. Do you hold
No,
to
what
that?
I'm saying is if you don't exist to experience a good, then there's no good because you
Okay, so
don't
let's say you
exist
exist, but you
for
can't
that.
possibly experience a good. Would that good be like considered good to you?
Wait, you said if I do exist and there's no good? Is that what you're asking?
Okay, here I'll summarize it and maybe okay. Let me just get through this without you reiterating the point. You're saying if you don't exist to experience good, then that good isn't good, right?
If you don't exist, then there's not going to be any good. Yes, because you're
Okay,
not going to be able to exist to to live through this good, right? Good is supposed to benefit us, but if we don't exist to be benefited, then good just doesn't exist in this
okay,
analogy.
there we go. And what I'm asking you is that symmetrical to bad? Can we say the same thing about bad, where it wouldn't be bad unless you can experience that bad?
Well, you keep saying if we can experience. If I agreed to that point, you would say then what if we were sleeping and something bad happened? I know where this
Exactly.
is
Yeah. Like,
going.
and I like I
I
know that you're
I
trying to
know.
avoid that, but just like dodging the question isn't avoiding it. You're gonna have to like substantiate
No, I'm
why you can
I'm
avoid
I'm
it.
telling you that you're just skewing my point. I'm trying to say
That's not
that
skewing. How
if you
wait? How am I
don't,
skewing your point?
because I'm saying that you need to exist in order to receive some kind of negative effect or some kind of benefit
No,
from
it's not that you need
something.
to exist. It's that you need to be able to experience. But existence is a prerequisite of experience. We're not talking about existence. We're talking about experience, right?
The prerequisite to experience something is to exist in the first place.
Yeah.
If I
So we're
don't
not
exist,
talking
I'm
about
not going to
existence. We're talking about
experience.
experience. Yeah. So we're not
Yeah,
talking
but
about the prerequisites. We're talking about the experience.
I understand that, but the problem is you keep saying that I'm holding to this experience thing. I'm saying that if you exist to experience something, then it's going to be good if the action was supposed to be good. Some kind of absence of bad is going to be good if you're able to exist to
Okay.
experience it. So
Right.
you
So
see where
now
I'm
I'll ask you
coming
this
from?
question, right? Here, I'll kind of like tear apart like experiencing from existing. Let's say you can exist, but you can't experience,
Mhm.
right? Like for example, you exist as a rock. Can good and bad be applied to this rock? Could this rock experience, or like could this rock deem something to be good or bad, or even like have the qualia or the valence of good or bad?
Well, I'm talking about a human being here, so
Well,
I
I'm
don't
talking
see
about
how
the
a
rock,
rock is
right? Yes or no?
right. But the problem is a rock,
Wait, just give
like
me a yes or no, please.
like a rock is going to experience bad, for example, if it's going to
How
get
so?
eroded. If it's going to get eroded, then obviously it's going to turn into bits of particles. Obviously,
And why is
that's not
that
going to
bad?
be good for the rock because it's going to lower some kind of efficiency of the rock. For example, we can use rocks
Efficiency
to
of the
our
rock?
advantage, right?
Yeah, but
But
that's
like I
us.
don't.
That's like the rock being bad in terms of our use. That's the utility. I'm not talking about utility. I'm not talking about humans. I'm talking about the
Oh,
rock. Can the rock
you
experience the
see,
valence of good or bad?
yeah, I understand that, but the problem is there's different types of value. For
Look,
one, you could say that something has intrinsic value, or you could say they have some kind of
I'm
value
not talking
depending on
about its
how it can be
value at
used.
all. I
Yeah,
didn't even
but
mention value. I'm talking
I
about can this
understand that,
rock? Yeah,
but I'm talking about like how it like its efficiency towards us. That's why I mentioned it. If
I'm not talking
something
about
loses
yeah.
its if
Yeah,
something
again, see,
loses its
you're adding unnecessary
efficiency,
parts to my hypothetical, right? Here, I'm gonna ask you a yes or no question.
I
Please.
understand that,
Right.
but your hypothetical just has nothing to do with the
Okay,
argument
definitely.
that
If
I'm
you
holding
believe it
to.
has nothing to do, then just humor me and then see if I could maybe somehow tie it back because I believe I know what I'm doing, right? So now I'm asking you, there's a rock which exists.
Hmm.
For this rock, is there such thing as good and bad outside of us, outside of our cognition, outside of our like teleological ideas that we came up with? Is there good and bad for this rock? The rock in it of itself? Yes or no?
Well, if the rock gets destroyed, that's going to be bad for the rock.
No, it's
If
not.
the
We made that
rock,
idea up. That's something that we came up with. I'm saying for the rock itself. To the rock itself, it's bad. We okay, justify that. How is it bad to the rock? In what way?
well, Well, if a rock gets exploded, it's going to cease to exist. So therefore, that's going to be
No,
some kind
rocks
of
can't
bad.
cease to exist. Like rocks, you mean like you can say that like the rock in and of itself, the identity might be like, I guess disfigured, in which it's like not a rock anymore. It's just like split atoms. Why is that
If
bad
a
for the rock?
if a rock gets hit by a nuke, it's going to get vaporized. It's not going to
Yeah,
exist
why is that bad for the rock?
because it's going to cease to exist. That's
Ceasing
that's
to
a
exist
that's
isn't
a
bad.
that's an inherent bad for the rock.
No,
If
it's
you
not. You
cease
have
to
to
exist,
substantiate that.
like you don't understand. If you cease to exist, you're not going to experience good. There's no
The
chances for
rock
good.
can't experience good otherwise. Like even if it's there, it can't experience
I
good.
like how abstract he thinks, but it doesn't necessarily fit in the view of what you're trying to get across, Resper. But I like
Right,
how
I
abstract
know.
he thinks.
Yeah, it's like what I'm trying to get at is he's okay. So he's saying you need to exist to experience good. And then he's saying that like existence and experience are like one and the same. I'm trying to show him that like when you were talking about experiencing good, we're not talking about existence, we're talking about the ability to experience. A rock can't experience, but it exists. So that's proof of like the point that we're not talking about existence, we're talking about experience. So when it comes to us, right? You're like, what did you even say at the start? Like, why did existence come in? Why does it matter to your viewpoint against antinatalism?
Well, because the problem is existence is what allows us to be able to experience good, to experience bad, all of these things,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
So
Yeah. So were you not listening to the asymmetry argument at all?
what like I am listening to the asymmetry argument. It's just that you're
Okay.
failing to understand that I'm talking about existence rather than just
Okay.
experience
Look
alone.
here. I'll give you this, Speedster. Let's say we have one person. I'll give you two different scenarios for this person, right? So this person is doomed to live a life full of complete suffering. Not a single ounce of his like experience will be good. All of it's gonna be pure suffering, as if he's getting sent to hell. Right now, you have a button in front of you.
Hmm.
If you click this button, you will wipe him out of existence. He will no longer exist. Or is it good to click the button, or is it not good to click the button?
It's not because then I'm
Because
committing.
yeah, let's hear
Even
it.
if something like your hypothetical is not logical because it doesn't
It's
ex-
not
it can't
logical. Wait,
it
what
cannot
logic is it
ex-
breaking?
it cannot exist in the realm of
Oh, so
reality.
it's
That's
not
what I'm trying to say.
pragmatic, is what you're saying.
Y- Yeah, like it cannot
It
exist in the
doesn't
realm of
matter.
reality.
That seriously doesn't matter insofar as like philosophical debates go, right? Rene
Well,
Descartes
because
wasn't like valid in talking about like his Cartesian demon. There's no such thing as demons, but that like hypothetical was able to point to like some sort of like doubt that we didn't hold that we should hold. Um, Same thing goes for this, right? It's not going to happen, sure, but I'm trying to gauge your values. So when you say like it's wrong to click the button, why is it wrong to click this button?
because I'm terminating a human life, whether it's going to be doomed for absolute suffering or not, I'm still terminating a life. Therefore,
Okay,
that's going to be an immoral act.
Speedster, you should have
yeah,
asked if it was possible to turn their life back around.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I was asking when I said that. Hey,
not
this
in
is
this
going to be
hypothetical. No,
against
not
the.
a single
This
ounce
is
would be
not
good
going to
valence.
exist in the realm of reality. I mean, I'm literally trying to explain to you, even the people
Do
who
you
live in the
believe all
harshest.
hypotheticals need to be within the realm of reality so long as they're like logically sound?
Well, considering that we're talking about an argument that involves a lot about existence, we kind of do have to bring hypotheticals to the realm of
Not
to the that can
right.
kind of coexist in the realm of reality, right?
No, not
So
necessarily. Especially with like existence, which is like a super duper abstract concept. That's when we need hypotheticals that don't work in our reality, right? And also, this is
then
like logically possible, so it should be able to logically gouge your like worldview. Now, anyways, so you said it's wrong to click the button because you're like eliminating a human life. Now, I'm going to argue that this human life inherently has no value. So the fact that it's suffering is like valid means of ending that life, right? So
wait,
why are you?
you said it has no inherent value. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, it has no inherent value, so much so that it would be wrong to like save it from the suffering, right?
How is inherent value going to be taken away?
There's no inherent value that's gonna be taken away because it doesn't really exist in the first place.
Well, because that's a presupposition. If I say that
Yeah, I'm
if I say that
presupposing it doesn't exist because I'm quite sure it doesn't. Would you like to like prove to me that
oh
it does?
wait, so like that's just begging the question. How are you
How?
gonna
Wait,
justify
where am I
that
begging the
value?
question?
Because you're saying that value doesn't exist because I don't hold to this presuppositions or something. I
Okay,
honestly
I'll put
like
it this way: that value doesn't
messed
exist
it up.
because there are no qualities about a human life that like inherently has value insofar as that you won't be able to like terminate it with justification. We're justifying it here by saying that otherwise it will live pure suffering, right? Even that person themselves, I'm pretty sure would click the button, right? If they don't click the button, that just goes to show that they aren't living through pure suffering, which means you're not like enacting the realm of my hypothetical. So when I say hypothetically it's gonna go through pure suffering, and you say it's wrong to click the button or that you wouldn't click the button, I think that's like absurd, and you still haven't really justified it past just human life.
Well,
What about human
because
life?
here's the problem. here's the problem. Even if I hold to your ideologies, I can still say that it's going to be immoral because I'm still terminating the life without some kind of proper justification. Even if the
Without some
person
kind of, he's living through hell. Is that not justification?
he's living through hell, that doesn't give me the right to terminate somebody. Let's say they live in a third world country, they can't find food to survive. That doesn't give me the right to just go out there and kill them. We
Yeah,
can
I'm
agree
not
on
saying
that,
you should
right?
go out there. Yeah, I'm not saying you should go out there and kill them. I'm saying that if somebody's gonna be sent to hell, literal, like the literal biblical hell, and like they're gonna be going through full suffering, yes, click the button. They're not gonna stop.
So
They want you to click the
wait,
button because if they don't, then again, they're not going through that suffering, right?
wait. So you're telling me that somebody is destined for hell, and it's my choice whether they get to go in there or not? That's not
No,
my
it's
choice.
okay. Okay.
According to the Bible, somebody goes to hell
I'm gonna
based
say,
on their
do you
own
want the
actions and
hypothetical
based
again?
on their
Can I
wrongdoings.
wait? Can I please
That's
give you the
not that's
hypothetical
not
again?
that's not my choice. That's not my choice to choose.
Here,
I can't choose if
Speedster.
somebody goes to hell or not. That's
Speedster, I
that's
get it.
God's
Speedster,
choice.
Speedster. All of these words are like they're piling up, but these are words against something I haven't. Okay, look, I'm gonna give you the hypothetical once more. Okay, now you hear that somebody is about to come into existence,
Hmm.
but their existence is going to be quote unquote literal hell insofar as that every single experience will have the utmost negative valence. Okay, you
Hmm.
tracking? Now,
Yeah,
if you
I'm
click this
tracking.
button in front of you, they won't come into existence.
Yeah, that's still going to be an immoral act because again, even under this framework, it's going to be me terminating that life without an
You're
actual
not terminating a
justification.
life, you're preventing a life.
Preventing a life. What life are we talking about here? Are we talking
The
about a
life
fetus?
that's about to be born into hell. Dude, are you okay, look. One more time. One more time. Please, for the love of God, I swear, if there's one word you don't understand, I will give you the whole entire like dictionary worth of wording to explain it. So let me know when I need to stop or if I'm talking too fast or anything of that sort. There is nobody exists yet, okay? But you do
Mhm.
know that there is somebody who is about to come into existence. Are we following?
Like that might come into existence. That's
No, not
that's
might. They
that's not.
will. You know for a fact they are about to come into existence. Are we following?
They will. So, by under this justification, is this like referring to before conception or something like that?
This
Under your
this is not
hypothetical?
this is not yet analogous to anything. We're just gauging values. So don't worry, just try to think about it, right? So somebody's about to come into existence. Are we following? Should I move on?
I understand that, but how are we gonna know that they're gonna come into existence? How
Because
are we gonna
because
know
I'm
that?
the god of this hypothetical, and as God, I'm giving you divine revelation. Okay?
Okay, why not? Let's go for it.
Yeah. Now, so you know somebody's about to come to existence, and you have a button in front of you in which you can prevent their existence. You click this button, poof, they aren't gonna exist in 10 seconds, right? Now, if you
Hmm.
don't click the button and you wait those 10 seconds and they come to existence, you know for a fact their life will be utter hell in that every single experience will have the utmost negative valence. Are we tracking?
Yes, but the problem is, even under your justification, they still have some kind of potential to
I haven't
experience
justified
good.
anything. I haven't
You
justified
haven't
anything yet.
justified anything,
No,
even
no,
under
I
your
I
haven't justified
framework.
anything.
believe that that is the time.
Yeah, that is the time. Thank you so much, Central, for having me up here. That
Yeah,
was
thank you
a
guys.
very
Thank you.
stimulating
Thank you.
talk.
Can
Yeah,
we do
man.
one more?
Very
Can we
uh
do one more poll if that's okay?
hell no.
Bruh.
I've
Nice.
already done one too many polls pissing people off, man. It's time to move on.
You're good. You're good. But yeah, thanks for the debate, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.